you know, I was wondering, you know, if just rising now.
Before he was called the King of Pop, he was a kid from Gary, Indiana, fighting to be seen as more than the voice that made his family famous. 10 songs, 10 turning points, and one countdown that ends with the single record that changed everything, not just for him, but for black music itself. This is the story fans think they already know. The hits, the charts, the legend. But behind every one of these songs is a decision, a sacrifice, or a moment of doubt most people have never heard about. By the time we reach number 1, you'll understand why this isn't just a list of great songs. It's the blueprint for how a child star became one of the most important artists in history. Before we get into it, a genuine thank you. This channel, Black Legacy Files, just crossed 270 subscribers, and every one of you has helped keep the real history of classic R&B and soul alive. Stories like this one don't get told without an audience that still cares. If you love the legends who built this music, hit subscribe. If stories like this one move you, drop a like and tell us in the comments which artist, which song changed your life, because trust me, the story behind our number 1 entry is one you will not want to miss. Let's start where his transformation quietly began. Number 10, Lovely One. By 1980, Michael Jackson had already proven something extraordinary. Off the Wall had just made him a solo star in his own right. So here's the question nobody expected to matter. Why did he go back? Lovely One opens Triumph, the album that found Michael returning to his brothers with something he didn't have before, control. The Jacksons had left Motown for Epic Records years earlier, chasing the kind of creative freedom Motown never gave them. By Triumph, that freedom had matured into confidence. Michael co-wrote this track with his brother Randy. Listen closely and you'll hear it. This isn't the voice of the wide-eyed teenager from the Jackson 5 anymore. This is a young man in full command of his instrument, shaping every phrase with intention. The Triumph tour that followed proved this wasn't nostalgia. It was a band operating at a new level entirely. And yet, underneath the harmony, a quiet tension was building, the same tension that would define the next decade of his life. Because the more his individual star rose, the harder it became to stay inside the group that raised him. That tension would surface again. But first, rewind 2 years, to a song so overlooked it doesn't even carry Michael's name as a single, yet it closes the most important album of his career. Number 9, Burn This Disco Out. Here's a fact most fans miss completely. Burn This Disco Out closes off The Wall, and closing tracks rarely get remembered. This one deserved better. Released August 10th, 1979, Off the Wall marked Michael's first full album with producer Quincy Jones, a partnership sparked while working together on The Wiz. That decision alone reshaped his entire career. The album became the first by a solo artist to produce 4 Billboard Top 10 hits, according to the Recording Academy. But this final track shows something else. Michael using his voice like a drum, stacking rhythm into every syllable. That technique would become his signature. Behind him stood a team rarely given enough credit. Bassist Louis Johnson, keyboardist Greg Gaines, engineer Bruce Swedian. Together they built a sound too precise to call simple dance music.
your feelings too. So DJ spin.
Number 9 proved Michael could close a chapter. Number 8 would show the Jacksons' opening one, with a voice nobody expected to hear on a funk record. Number 8. Can You Feel It? Picture this, Orson Welles, the legendary filmmaker behind Citizen Kane, lending his voice to a Jacksons record. It sounds unlikely, it happened. Released in 1980 on Triumph, Can You Feel It opens with a dramatic vocal from Randy Jackson before Wells's narration sets the stage for something enormous. Written by Michael and Jackie Jackson, the song wasn't built for intimacy, it was built for scale. By now, the Jacksons weren't just a successful family act, they were global performers stepping into an era where black artists were fighting for visibility on television and in mainstream media and refusing to shrink themselves to fit it. The music video matched that ambition. Directed by Bruce Gowers, it showed the brothers as giants towering over a miniature world years before elaborate music videos became standard. It was less a performance and more a statement. And here's what's easy to overlook. Michael doesn't dominate this song. He folds his voice into the group, choosing unity over spotlight, even as his own fame kept growing louder. That choice wouldn't last forever, because the Jacksons' international sound didn't start here. It started 2 years earlier, with a song they didn't even write. Number 7, Blame It on the Boogie.
Don't blame it on the good times. Blame it on the boogie. Don't you blame it on the good times. Blame it on the boogie. Don't blame it on the sunshine.
Not every song that defines an artist was written by them. This one wasn't, and it became a Jacksons classic anyway. Written by British musician Mick Jackson along with David Jackson and Elmar Crone, Blame It on the Boogie arrived in 1978, right as the family was rebuilding its identity after leaving Motown. The song became one of their biggest hits in the United Kingdom and Europe, where it remains a dance floor staple to this day. Its message was simple: no heartbreak, no struggle, just surrender to rhythm. And in a decade shaped by economic uncertainty and cultural division, that simplicity meant something. This was also the era of Destiny, the album that proved the Jacksons could write, arrange, and produce their own material. Michael was still young, but he was no longer just Motown's prodigy. He was becoming part of a family shaping its own sound. But the Jacksons were about to release a song that turned that family sound into something far more physical and far more unforgettable. Number 6, Working Day and Night. By the time Michael Jackson recorded Working Day and Night, he had already spent more years working than most adults twice his age.
This is our farewell tour.
He'd entered the music business as a child, toured relentlessly, and carried the weight of his family's success since before he could fully understand it. Written and co-produced by Jackson himself, with Quincy Jones producing the record, this track turns exhaustion into motion. The lyrics describe relentless labor, but the groove refuses to sound defeated. Listen to his vocal performance here. It's sharp, percussive, almost athletic. Repeated phrases used like rhythmic instruments rather than simple lyrics. That's not an accident. Every element on Off the Wall was engineered with precision, built by a team of Los Angeles studio musicians working alongside Quincy Jones and engineer Bruce Swedian. This song belongs to a much older tradition in black music, turning hardship into art. Blues did it, gospel did it, soul and funk carried it forward. Michael was simply the latest voice continuing that legacy, even as a teenager. What makes this song haunting in hindsight is how accurately its title would describe the rest of his life. The demands only grew heavier from here. If you've made it this far, you already know these songs by heart. But I'd bet there's at least one story tonight you never knew before. If classic R&B and soul music means something to you, subscribe to Black Legacy Files so you never miss a countdown like this one. Like this video if these artists shaped your life the way they shaped mine. And tell me in the comments which song on this list means the most to you. Because the biggest revelations, the most legendary songs, and the story behind our ¡1 entry are still ahead. Number 5. Get on the Floor.
There's a chance for grooving, and it will be soothing, especially.
Some songs ask you to feel something. This one just tells you what to do. Get on the Floor doesn't hide behind metaphor. Written by Michael Jackson and bassist Louis Johnson, known for his work with the Brothers Johnson, the track sits at the center of Off the Wall, an album where dance and vocal performance had officially become inseparable. Johnson's bass work here isn't decoration, it's the foundation. His playing gives the song a funk backbone underneath its disco polish, and that combination mattered more than it might seem. Michael wasn't just singing about movement anymore, his phrasing moved with it, as if his voice was being shaped by the rhythm in his own body. This was also a quiet act of defiance. Black artists were often expected to fit into narrow categories, pop or R&B, radio or clubs, never both. Off the Wall refused that choice. It was sophisticated enough for mainstream airplay and rooted enough in black musical tradition to never lose its identity. There's no hidden message in this song, no complicated story to decode, just an open invitation, and that simplicity is exactly why it still fills dance floors today. But the next entry isn't about joy, it's about intensity, the moment Michael Jackson turned a title into a mission statement. Number 4, Off the Wall.
And just enjoy yourself.
Every artist eventually has to answer one question. Who am I once the world stopped seeing me as a child? For Michael Jackson, the title track of Off the Wall was that answer.
When the word is on your shoulder.
Written by Rod Temperton and produced by Quincy Jones, the song became more than a single. It became a mission statement. Temperton, a British songwriter who would later write Rock With You and Thriller, had a gift for melodies that felt both sophisticated and instantly familiar. And this one carried a message Michael needed the world to hear. Step outside what people expect of you.
Just enjoy yourself.
That message wasn't abstract. Michael had spent his childhood as Motown's prodigy, watched by an audience that believed they already knew exactly who he was. Now he had to convince that same audience he'd become something they'd never seen before. A complete artist, not just a familiar voice all grown up. The album's success made that case undeniable. According to the Recording Academy, Off the Wall became the first solo album to produce 4 Billboard Top 10 hits, laying the foundation for everything that followed, including Thriller 3 years later. Listening back now, the title feels almost prophetic. This was the last chapter before fame became something far harder to control. And the next song on this list would prove that Michael didn't need to shout to command a room. Sometimes the quietest performance says the most. Number 3, Shake Your Body.
Shake your body now to the ground, let's dance, let's shout, shout. Shake your body now to...
It started as a song called Shake a Body. By the time it was finished, it had become one of the most powerful recordings of the Jacksons' entire career. Written by Randy and Michael Jackson, Shake Your Body, Down to the Ground arrived during the Destiny era, the moment the Jacksons finally stepped fully into their own creative independence after years of frustration at Motown. This wasn't a family act following instructions anymore. This was a group building a sound entirely on its own terms.
Walk around this town with your head on up in my And I do know.
And you can hear that independence in every second of the record. A driving bass line, crisp, relentless percussion, layered vocals built for a live band, not a studio trick. It doesn't feel like a polished disco single, it feels like a group pushing forward with something to prove.
Do know that I want you. Let's dance. Let's
Michael's voice is still the one you recognize instantly. But this isn't a solo showcase. The power comes from tension, one voice trying to stand out, inside a family determined to stay together.
want you. Let's dance. Let's shout.
Decades later, producers are still sampling this groove, still remixing it, still borrowing its DNA. Some songs fade, this one kept finding new generations. But the countdown was about to slow down, because the next song wasn't about energy, it was about restraint.
Let's shout. Shake your body down to the ground. Let's dance. Let's shout.
Number 2, Rock With You.
Relax your mind. Live on the floor. There ain't nobody there but
Sometimes the most unforgettable performance isn't the loudest one in the room. Rock With You proved that. Written by Rod Temperton and produced by Quincy Jones, it became the second single from Off the Wall and Michael Jackson's second #1 hit as a solo artist. But numbers don't explain why this song still stops people in their tracks decades later.
back and groove with mine. You gotta feel that heat.
Listen to the performance. Michael doesn't attack this song, he glides through it. His vocal is warm, unhurried, almost weightless, floating over a groove built for quiet, hypnotic movement rather than explosive energy. It proved something the industry hadn't fully accepted yet, that dance music could be romantic, that R&B could whisper instead of shout, and still fill every dance floor in the country.
And we can ride the boogie. Share that beat of love.
The video mattered just as much as the song. A dark background, a shimmering laser effect. Michael, dressed simply, moving with total precision, while the light transformed him into something almost otherworldly. This was years before the cinematic ambition of Thriller, but the instincts were already there.
Rock with you all night.
This song also marks a turning point most fans never think about. It cemented the partnership between Michael and Quincy Jones, the very collaboration that would go on to reshape music history entirely. Because we're not done yet. The most iconic, most unforgettable entry in this entire countdown is still ahead, and it changed everything.
Rock with you all night.
Number 1, Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. Released July 10th, 1979, Don't Stop Till You Get Enough wasn't just Michael Jackson's first solo single for Epic. It was a declaration. That breathy opening, then the groove exploding underneath him, this was no longer the child from the Jackson 5. This was a fully formed artist announcing himself to the world. The song earned him his first solo #1 and his first Grammy. Small details make it unforgettable. Percussionist Michael Boddicker once recalled using bottles as makeshift instruments during the session, adding texture nobody expected. Every gasp, every rhythmic vocal run revealed a performer who treated his own voice like an instrument in the band. This is why it stands at #1. Not just chart success, but proof that black artistry could be commercially unstoppable and creatively fearless at the same time. Look back across this entire countdown, and one truth stands out. Michael Jackson didn't outgrow his roots in disco, funk, and soul. He carried them forward, transforming them into something the whole world would eventually embrace. That's the real legacy, music built on black tradition, reaching every corner of the globe. If this countdown brought back memories or taught you something new, subscribe to Black Legacy Files for more journeys through classic R&B and soul history. Like this video if these songs shaped your life. And in the comments, tell us which legend deserves the next countdown. Thank you for watching. The music remembers, so do we.
Don't stop till you get